Good morrow, godlings. I'd like to talk to you today about what you're being robbed of. Actually, how you're being misused, how your energy, your attention is being misused. Let me turn this down a little so the storms don't overwhelm us. You are godlings. Your attention is your godly energy. It is your creative force. Many interests in the world want to capture your attention so that you don't use it for creating what benefits you, and instead use it for creating what benefits them. There are people in this world who are aware that we are godlings. And while they, because their benevolence is far from perfect, while they cannot wield their wills and direct the power that would otherwise be theirs were they benevolent. While they're aware that they can't do that themselves, they know that if they harness the attention of millions, they can cause to come into being scenarios that benefit them and their agendas. These people position themselves financially to benefit from what the rest of us would call catastrophe. And then they use the joint imagifestational prowess of humanity at large by directing our attention into fearful imaginings of precisely what we do not want. You are a godling, and so you create. You're going to create consciously what you will, or unconsciously what you do not will. The harnessing of your ability to imagifest into sensible reality what you will instead of what you do not will hangs entirely on your ability to direct and focus your attention to exclude what you do not want. Do not look for what you do not will to find. Don't look at the weather map where the weather forecaster is saying the models show there might be a little spin up here in a week or two, and everybody should keep watching this spot because it could be very bad. It could cause major catastrophe. Look, here's the history of all the time storms have come from just this spot to wreak havoc on us all. Don't look at the map fearfully thinking, not that, dear God, not that. Stop allowing your imagifestational prowess to be harnessed by other people who are directing our energy to create things we do not want en masse by using the media, TV, etc., even YouTube, to create what we do not want. Mind you, disclaimer, a little bit of this is happening without conscious intention to cause problems or catastrophes. It's simply to get clicks that people use frightening and inflammatory titling on their videos, because as human beings, we're afraid. We believe we are mortal and that we can suffer loss and die. And so what we are told we should be afraid of, we click on to find out what it is so we can avoid it. Stop doing that. Let's start training the clickbaiters by not taking the bait. When they post something scary titled in order to get you to click on it, don't click on it. Start giving them feedback and we'll train them together. The feedback is, we don't click on scary titles anymore. Stop feeding our fearful imaginations. The drones. The drones. We are being asked to be afraid. At the same time, the Defense Department tells us there's nothing to be worried about. We don't believe, well, it could present a threat to national security, but we don't know what to do about it. Okay, none of that rings true. There's no reason they couldn't knock those drones right out of the sky if they wanted to. They don't want to. There's another agenda at work here. And the agenda is to get you looking at the things and frightened about what it all means, and your attention focused outside on creating a fearful environment in which even more catastrophes can materialize. Your fear projected outward is being harnessed to create a dystopian situation in which we lose a lot of people, because from the venue, that is, because many powers that be, individuals not so benevolent with financial interest in culling the population and or in creating catastrophes that they are positioned to capitalize on, are harnessing your fear and your ability to manifest, imagifest, precisely what you do not want. The cure for this is lucidity. If you observe yourself obsessing, lucidity is the act of being consciousness itself, conscious of itself, observing and being aware of itself as it observes the self-talk and the other behaviors that cause your energy to be drained off to manifest things that you do not want. Instead, in lucidity, observing this phenomenon, you choose to wield your will and focus your attention on manifesting what you do want, what benefits you and the rest of humanity, instead of the few billionaires presently running the show. So please stop obsessing on what does not serve you, what does no good. Stop, in fact, mostly watching the news. I myself look at the news, not listening to it, but reading the headlines once a day. I just check the headlines. That's pretty much it. I look for smaller articles that might interest me individually, that have nothing to do with anything scary, but have something to do with, moving to France or something like that. Nothing scary. Stop feeding your unconscious little pro-simian brain, the part of you that thinks you're an animal and can suffer loss and die. Stop feeding that scary thoughts. If you want to change the world, and we all do want to change it, some not so much for the better, and most of us for the better, Stop feeding your mind scary thoughts. Regulate what comes into your mind through your eyes and your ears. Don't feed your subconscious mind a diet of fearful possibilities. Instead, consciously direct your attention to focus on, with great emotional joyousness and high amplitude feelings, focus on what you will to occur. Take back your power. Stop being manipulated into creating jointly this catastrophe of a slow motion train wreck that we are all witnessing. I love you all. It's really imperative that we waken now. That by wakening, I mean be lucid. Observe that we've been manipulated to create unconsciously what we did not want. And then observe ourselves, our consciousness, in action. Focusing attention to Imagifest together the new and perfect world we do want. Now a word, briefly, about my books. You know about the nonfiction work, Rise, and also Entangled Hearts, How to Call Your Pets Back from Across the Rainbow Bridge. My fiction series, the first 3 of which are published, The Vampire Grail Affairs, teaches all the same things through the lives of the characters, acting out the lessons that you'll be taught in Rise, or A Course in Miracles, which is not, strictly speaking, my work, but my guide, Michael. I think if you've read A Course in Miracles and you read Rise in Lucidity and Master Anxiety, which I wrote with Michael, you'll notice that the voice is the same in the 2 works. Michael is much more to the point, and so the book is brief and can be read easily in a weekend. It should be read many times. Just like the Course in Miracles, it should be studied. The thing is you don't really need the Course in Miracles once you've dropped Rise. The Course in Miracles is big and unwieldy and intimidating. Rise is not, okay? So I recommend Rise, but the Vampire Grail Affairs, if you like erotic fantasy, teaches through a story that's very engaging, featuring vampires, very popular, all the same lessons you can get from Rise. We chose vampires because they allow us to address issues that only the very long-lived would witness, and changes over time in the earth, trends, etc. And because they're very popular. And we wanted to make it very sexy so that the message would get to people who would never read a self-help book, but would read a very sexy story involving vampires. All the vampires have near-death experiences in the course of being made vampire, remade vampire. And so they come back, having visited in their NDEs many world venues, they come back with a strong appreciation for what they are and what the venues are, that they are constructs. They are not anything that you can really be captive of. The Vampire Grail Affairs offers you as well 2 additional world venues in creation right now. I'm going to tell you that the way a venue gets created is someone or someone's in a venue already, describe and construct, do the world building on another venue. Writing and TV are used for this in this venue. And then they make it available for mass consumption, and in this way, every person who reads the work or witnesses it on movies or whatever builds with their energetic addition They build their energy into that world venue, making it more accessible and a stronger freestanding energetic structure in the astral realms. Once that building is sufficiently, that work is sufficiently disseminated out to people, then they gain an understanding that they're being invited into the new venue. When they quit the venue they're in, shed their bodies, they can, because they have been tuned by reading the work. Their frequency has been tuned to that venue. They are able to access it through the lustrous fast. We offer also audio files that we've constructed to help you be retuned energetically, so you can access the two additional worlds. One being Terra, the world in which the story of the Vampire Grail affairs is acted out, and the other venue being the Perfect World at the top of the stairs. One of the audio files we offer is Portal to the Perfect World. We're going to be doing more work in the second 3 books in the Vampire Grail affairs. We're going to be doing more work in the Perfect World venue, so that you get an opportunity to read it and to experience it, and with the help of the audio files and you're reading it, you're going to be retuned so that you will be able to recognize and direct your consciousness into the Perfect World venue as you choose when you depart Earth venue. Above all, the Vampire Grail affairs is about not just your entertainment, but stoking your energetic field by waking up your chakras and causing the energy to ascend from the lower chakras to the higher chakras through the course of the stories unfolding. And then to teach you that you cannot be hostage to a world you made. And right now, because of a lack of lucidity in this venue, people by and large believe they are hostage to this venue. But you are a godling, an eternal being. You cannot even be touched by this venue, what you are, much less can you be injured or sullied. The Vampire Grail affairs, like Rise, like everything in my store, crackedpotpublishing.com, is there to teach you where your power is and to free you, so that you are no longer hostage to the designs of others who want to hijack your godly attention, your godly estate, your godly energy to create what benefits them and is a detriment to you. We love you all. We hope you'll come join us very soon. Bye for now. Now, where did I put that?